And as you said before, that you started quite young with content creation, what was it like back in then? Because I'm sure that many people started like a bit later or maybe recently when it's kind of growing, developing, and the whole content creation economy becoming bigger and bigger. But what was it like for you?
So I would say that it was very much the classic Instagram with all the filters and the motivational quotes and the pictures and the square posts. That's exactly what it was. And all I did was find pictures on the internet and post it. I never posted my own face for a long time. And I was a kid, so I think that kind of checks out. But I would say actually that a lot of that skill probably came from Tumblr. So I had Tumblr when I was even younger than that.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's really just like choosing nice pics to post on your Tumblr, exactly the same as Instagram, like choosing pictures that you think are impressive or helpful and posting that on my Instagram. And I started with sort of fitness and motivational content. And I would say it was very experimental, but I would argue that it's almost still the same. Like, even though the content that I make is much higher quality, much higher value, everything ultimately is just an experiment. Like, you try something, see if it works, and if it doesn't, you try something else.
That is true, and I agree. That's something I try to follow and kind of tell people too, because yes, it might work for one person, but it doesn't mean that's necessarily going to work for you. And the best way or the only way how to find out is try, experiment, and then adjust based on the results.
100%. That is a cross I will die on. It is all about finding what works for you. Because, like, you can copy a video word for word, but if you don't have, like, if something's missing, maybe you don't speak the same way, you don't have the same energy, like, it just might not work for you.
Exactly.
Mm.
And great point that you also said is since you started a bit earlier and you amassed large audience already, for example on Instagram, I was honestly impressed when I saw your following across other channels too, but Instagram as well. I think it also perfectly shows that you need to play the long game because people often look for shortcuts and they see 1 million followers or even more. I'll get there too, but they don't see how much work there is behind it.
Yeah, I think one thing that I have learned from 12 years or almost 13 years of doing this is you have to be able to like rebrand yourself multiple times. And even better now, there are lots of people on Instagram that teach this really well, is like you make yourself the niche. So where I started with fitness and motivational content, nobody knew who I was. I would not do that again because if I stop being interested in fitness, all my followers are gone. So
Mm.
really bringing yourself into the picture is a big thing. And also being uncomfortable with like going through the highs and the lows, because I did study content for 5 years and I was getting millions of views on every video. But then I know I graduated and I'm like, well, now I'm not a student anymore. So it doesn't make sense for me to do this.
Mhm.
And then almost overnight, my engagement dropped as I was trying to find a new niche. But I know with time it will pick back up. I just have to
Mhm.
write it out.
I
Yeah.
like it, yes. And also algorithms are changing, trends are changing. There is new competition all the time. For example, you can see it even on LinkedIn, new people emerging. So we need to keep evolving. And I think even more relevant now in the age of AI.
Oh, 100%. I'm so interested to see how AI will change the content and platforms.
Me too. What's then your experience like with LinkedIn and AI? I don't want to bring the topic, but of course we use it for the content creation and everything. But I don't know, for example, with the comments, sometimes I feel like it's not evolving that well, and I'm afraid that in the future it might be even worse, like with the commenting. But what's your experience like?
Yeah, I find that a lot of my feed, I can mostly tell when something's been written by AI, and it happens way more often than you would think. And it's weird because some of those posts will get lots of likes and those people might have lots of followers. You know, I would never want to take that away from someone, but it just makes you question like, how do you stay differentiated in something like this? Or how does somebody who's using AI so blatantly differentiate themselves? I think the comments, sometimes I don't know if it's AI or if it's just like a person trying to support my post, but really doesn't have anything to add. Because like sometimes I'll just summarize my post and I'll be like, that's great, thank you. Like, I appreciate you commenting. Like, I appreciate you commenting, but then I find myself responding like, sure, 100% agreed. I'm like, I don't know what else to say to this.
I feel literally the same, honestly.
Yeah.
It's funny. I feel the same, but I think just people don't have to overthink it. I feel like, from my experience, even if it's someone sharing their experience, point of view, having fun or adding something fun, it's just more than one long paragraph that summarizes the whole post.
Yeah, yeah, or even like that's cool, or like emojis. A lot of on Instagram, I got a lot of emojis, just emojis. So
Yes.
that's not bad. But then I don't have to reply to that as much.
And I forgot to ask you, Sarah, you've been on other platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, but when actually the LinkedIn come? What was the moment that made you focus on it?
Yeah, so as I said before, I was going through a bit of a rebrand. So I wasn't sure, I didn't want to post study content anymore, but I wasn't sure what I should post. So in that moment, I decided that career content, like, how to progress fast through your career, how to stand out, how to be a top performer, would be a natural progression from study content because most students will have to graduate and enter the workforce at some point. And then I thought, where can I find professionals? Like, what's the most obvious platform for that? LinkedIn. I'd also heard from other people that LinkedIn was like blowing up or sort of in the early stages that Instagram and TikTok once were. So I thought that would be a good thing to test. And it was right. Like that intel was correct. LinkedIn is a great place to be. But I learned that career content doesn't actually make much sense for me because I quit my job. So again, similar to the study thing. Like I'm no longer a student. I no longer am employed. It doesn't make sense for me to do that. And that's when I pivoted to personal branding.
Yeah, I like it.